Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, September 28th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick, a couple of clarifications. First off, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, ticker symbol PIXY. Overall, things were looking like sort of party over. The price had drifted down this afternoon, and then all of a sudden that 30-minute candle showed up. Nice green candle, which brings about a valid question of, okay, is this thing starting to wake back up again? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe that this is just kind of a little one candle wonder. But to be fair, maybe it is starting to wake back up. And to me, the level that stands out in terms of can this thing find some more momentum is going to be right up here around the $1.22 mark, which is essentially the top part of this little consolidation pattern that happened right there, that top right there. So there's still work that needs to be done, but certainly off to a good start. I mean, having the price be up around this area of the chart, much better than, still being down here, or worse yet, continuing to drop to the downside. But it's within, striking distance. So you got to think a lot of people are probably watching that $1.22 mark. And when lots of people are watching the same areas and wondering the same things, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So certainly keep an eye on that $1.22 mark. If you enjoy playing pullbacks more, then pretty straightforward here. Just a question of where did the pullback finally stop? And that was down there right around the 75-cent mark. So keep an eye on that from a support area from a pullback standpoint. Next one here, AVTX, and overall good day. Started off very shaky. I mean, and this will mean a bit more to those of you that watched yesterday's video, but if you did, talked about that being that area a key level of support, and you can see gap down below that support. Spent the majority of the morning and early afternoon below that level, but then afternoon showed up, and you can see the price not only got back up to that support, got above it, and then has increased that much more above it. So a very, very strong day, all things considered, especially when you figure, where the price started. So more of the story here, that 15-cent mark has gone back to being the key area of support and the level that you want to see continue to hold as support, especially now, because if the price were to come down here and drop back below it, what would that be doing to the price? That would be putting the price right back inside of that range that it just broke out of. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that make good moves and then go right back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power. But overall, nice movement there to get back above that 15-cent mark. In terms of areas of resistance now moving forward, key level going to be right up there around the 18-cent mark, so keep a close eye on that. But like I said, all things considered, very, very healthy day. Next one, PLTR, very, very nice looking pattern here and a very nice looking move. You can see that for a while it had just been chopping sideways, but finally got the nice move here. And now you got to think that a whole lot of people have taken notice of that. Maybe you've already noticed it too. That pink line up there, which on my chart denotes the very well-known, the very famous 200 period simple moving average. So that's certainly going to be the key area of resistance. So we'll move, and I'm just going to use that as our trend line of the pattern. So we have that trend line, and then we also have this trend line right here as our support part of the pattern. And then as part of it, you'd have to, include in, well, what was going on before all this? And you had this big upwards move right here. And to make it a little bit more visual, let's put the golf hole down here for you golfers. And this would be a bull pennant pattern. So bull pennant pattern, lots of people watching it probably. And as I've alluded to already, when lots of people are watching the same things and wondering the same things, it can produce some self-fulfilling prophecy. So while there is no such thing as a guarantee, is it plausible to think that if the price comes up here and breaks up through the top part of that pattern, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible scenario. So if you like bull pennant patterns, definitely keep an eye on this one. Next one here, NKLA, and this will mean a bit more to those of you that have watched. Let me zoom out here. Watched past videos, but if you have, then hopefully remember me talking about that resistance trend line right there and how that was a very critical level and a very wild day, because when, just quickly going through the history of the day, price opened up by breaking through that trend line, getting a fantastic breakout, and then a nasty move. Because that faked out a bunch of people thinking, oh, I guess that was a fake breakout. So those people probably got shook out, and then all of a sudden the price turned itself around and broke back above that resistance line. So very, very cruel and nasty day, at least from a trading standpoint. Now, for those people that care about, more so the bigger picture point of view, nothing too crazy here. Yeah, they were probably disappointed, but bigger picture, nothing was ever violated, and now they're feeling a lot better. But overall, that line has been broken. And now it's really just from a resistance standpoint. Let me bring this over. Key level here. going to be right at that level of $1.60, which going through the history of the chart, you can see $1.60, that journal area provided some problems, and then that's where we had that problem this morning. So going into tomorrow, $1.60 going to be public enemy number one from resistance side of things. As far as supports, nothing new here to report. The level that I talked about in yesterday's video still pertains. It's all about that purple line there, 50 period moving average. You can see right there acted as support. So as time goes by, given its name a moving average, that line is going to continue to move itself higher and higher. And if you want to picture that as a trend line, that's going to draw itself for you. Then that's one way you could go about it. But all in all, nice move today. Tricky day, sure. But overall, $1.60 is well within sight, and we'll see if it can potentially break up through there on Thursday. Next one here, AMC, and just a nasty, nasty day. Not because it was red, but for the reason of this. Beforehand, it had gone to this channel. It had broken to the top side of this channel, and then yesterday fallen back inside of it, which, okay, not the most ideal thing. But now the price has gone to the bottom part of the channel and is now slightly down below the bottom part of the channel. To be fair, it's not like the price has absolutely smashed the channel, but it is still, technically speaking, on the lower part of the channel. So moving into tomorrow, the key dynamic here is what you don't want to see is any sort of further move down. That's just creating more and more breakdown separation from the bottom part of the channel, which is obviously not a bullish dynamic. So the sooner the price can get back above the bottom part of that channel, that value being over here at $7.60, the better. But that's really the key dynamic. I'm going to move this, or I'll just add in another level here, because definitely a level at, whoops, you can't see it because it's behind my ugly mug. There we go. So next key level that I would definitely consider a must-hold level down there at $7.30. And I call that a must-hold level just because if the price drops below there, now you're all of a sudden violating these couple of very important levels of support that have held up before, and you're putting the price down at levels near all-time lows. So not a good day today. It's attempting to break to the downside of the pattern. We'll see if it can get more continuation or if it's a false breakdown and maybe the price can snap back up there on Thursday. Real quick, want to take a quick break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online web class that I'm offering here very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one here, SPRC. Very, very ugly looking chart here. I mean, when you stop and think about the fact, opening 30 minutes, absolutely fantastic. And then from there, nasty, nasty pullback all the way down here. But yes, ugly. However, for you longer time viewers, you know what I'll say next, but there can be opportunity in the ugly. And the level here that stands out and makes it very interesting is right down here at the 18-cent mark. And 18 cents just happens to be right here where this basically gap close location is. You also have the purple line there, 50 period moving average. So does that guarantee anything? It does not. But if there is, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have traded for a while, but if you have, I'm sure you've seen stocks that look like this and people just panic too much. And then all of a sudden, things can get very nice bounces. Again, does that mean that it's for sure going to bounce from that area? Of course not. That's why risk management matters. But from a risk-reward scenario, you could be looking at a very minimal risk compared to a very nice, solid upside reward. But as a reminder, risk first reward only works out if you're going to honor and be disciplined from the risk side of things. But like I said, if you do enjoy penny stocks, you enjoy these sorts of situations that do look ugly, but there's still an opportunity to potentially put together a nice risk reward scenario, then certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, AMD, and want to track this one because I talked about this in yesterday's video and said, yesterday, despite the chart not doing anything explosive, I called a very strong day. And, not to pat myself on the back, but to pat charts on the back. And that was definitely indeed right as today. Good, solid upwards movement. And this includes a pretty shaky day in the markets today. Markets kind of all over the place. But overall, got the break through that trend line, which is a good step in the right direction. Now it's all about just showing signs of progress, which leads you to, I'm sure, a question, okay, Clay, cool story, showing signs of progress, but those are just words. And that's what I love about charts. They allow you to take words and make them very visual. So when I say show signs of progress moving forward, I mean stay above that purple line, which has done a fantastic job so far, which you now know is the 50-period moving average. You can see right there, held as support. Right there, held as support. So moving forward, because that is a moving average, that line is going to continue to move higher and higher. Again, if you want to picture that or just use that as a trend line that's going to draw itself for you, then that's going to be a very straightforward way to start to see if the price can show signs of progress. So nice breakout. Now you want to see signs of progress. Again, that sign of progress being defined as staying above that 50-period moving average. In terms of areas of resistance, main battleground now to watch moving forward. I can't tell. Did it get above there? Nope, still struggling with that area right there at $98.90. So watch that in the near term. And if the price can push up through there, next key level after that, right up there around $100.25. Next one, TSLA Tesla. Another rough day here. Although, to be fair, afternoon, very, very impressive bounce back upwards. And it's now actually knocking down the door of that former pattern. So going into the day, there was this sideways channel pattern. This morning, price broke down through or you can see earlier on in the day, was doing a great job of honoring the pattern. And then the bulls just finally gave out. Bears showed up in a big way, but then the bulls have returned, which now brings us to the very big question here, because foundational rules in charting state when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. And as I speak right now, the price is currently doing battle with that former area of support. But as you would expect, that level right now is acting as resistance. So 241.50 going to be a very important level from a resistance standpoint, because again, that's all about, can the price get back inside of the channel? Now, the other tricky part to watch is going to be, even if the price can get back above that 241.50 mark, not that far away, you have that 50-period moving average lurking, which is going to, continue to move downwards and get more and more relevant. So in this situation, I know in other charts, we were talking about this being a level of support as a trend line. In this situation, this would be considered an area of resistance as a trend line. So keep an eye on that too. And then as far as supports are concerned, nothing fancy at all. Literally just a question of where did the bleeding finally stop today? And the bleeding stopped down there at the 234.50 mark. So 234.50 will be that key level to watch if the price does roll back over. Next one, AAPL Apple, and wanted to do this one just because it's like sort of a popular stock. Maybe you've heard of Apple, the company and the stock, but all kidding aside, when you have very popular stocks like this, get beat down quite a bit and then start to get some sideways movement. In fact, not only sideways movement, but a slight little upward slope to it, then it begins to make sense to say, hey, you know what, maybe some sort of bounce is coming. Now, don't get me wrong, I wish I could say trading was this easy, where I could say that, because the price got beat down and because the price is now got an upward slope to it after going sideways, this is for sure the bottom, the price is for sure going to bounce. If only it were that easy. My point here is does it become plausible? Does it become a little bit more rational to start to throw out those questions? Absolutely. Case in point, if the price was still just dropping, and I'm sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this could be a bottom, you'd be completely justified to say, what are you talking about? Based on what? But that's not the case here. The price has at least started to go sideways. So is this some sort of bottom? I have no idea, but it's at least started to show some signs of strength. And given that it's Apple, given it's a very popular stock, these are always very interesting scenarios. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ is going to rise, this one will also rise. Biggest difference, it just allows you access at a much lower price point. And been doing this one on a very routine basis. And this will mean a bit more to those of you that watched yesterday's video. But if you did, hopefully you remember me talking about that 35.25 mark as resistance, because you can see that twice today it came into play. Right there, opening 30 minutes. Didn't hit it exactly, but got very close, rejected back down. Late afternoon surge, check it out. Right up there, and once again, rejected back down. However, that was a double whammy because you can see the purple line just also happened to be right there. So just a nasty double whammy of resistance that rejected the price. So the power of charts. I'll turn that into a quick sales pitch. Get signed up for the free training, okay? Fantastic example right there on the power of charts. So more of the story, if you haven't connected those dots, 35.25 still the main area of resistance. As far as supports are concerned, nothing new here. Well, I take that back. So if you still want to use this as a support, that is completely fine because the price, to its credit, was able to get back above that area. So that has gone to being an area of support. But as far as a newer level, based on the question, where did the bleeding finally stop today? That's down there at 33.60. So I'll just map out both of them and let you decide which ones you want. Or if you want to just call it an overall resistance zone, or excuse me, support zone, just call this overall area support. I can see that making sense too. But overall, nice recovery today. But 35.25, can it break? Let's see what happens. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to go get signed up for that free training. It'll be very soon, Thursday, September 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, please do two things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment. Those things help out the channel. They communicate to me that you're enjoying these top 10 videos. And as long as I know that you're enjoying, I will continue to do this sort of content. So hit the like button, leave a basic comment below, even if it's just say hi, and go get signed up for that free class. Thanks for watching.